This session is about using luminosity masks in Affinity Photo. I'm going to show you a couple of things that you can do. The first thing is the picture itself. Luminosity is basically about how bright parts of the picture are and how you can control them by their brightness. So in this particular sample, the sky is quite bright compared to the rest of the image. So what I can do is go in and select tonal ranges, select the highlights. And as soon as I do that, you can see the marching ants running around all the light areas of the photo. And this can be used as a mask. So I just simply say, okay, I want to do a curves adjustment. Once I've done that, you can see in the picture here that the mask has been loaded from the marching ants, and I can now turn that off. And by just taking the curve, I can darken the sky, and you can see, and I can be extreme, it's having no effect on the buildings, just the sky itself. Now that's quite good, but it is quite a hard mask, and I can show you the mask itself. So if I just hover over the image of the mask, hold the Alt key down and press the left-hand mouse, it'll actually show the mask itself, and you can see it's pretty much black and white. There's a little bit of grey here, but that's more just black with white dots in it. Right, click on any of the other images to go back to normal. Now what I can do is I'll delete that, and we'll select from the tonal range, we'll pick shadows. And this is the opposite effect. So now all the darker areas are picked, and I can go in and do a curves adjustment, dismiss the marching ants, and now when I move the mouse on the curve, I can drag up the shadows, but it's not affecting the sky. That gives me great control over that. So if we come down into a darker area, and I can move that, can just bring up the light a little bit, and we'll just bring that down. And now our picture is balanced for the darker areas of the photo. If I reset that and delete, now I'll delete that curve there. Now there's another way of doing it, which is a little bit more subtle. And basically, if I hold down the Control key and the Alt key together and left mouse click on the background image, you'll see that I've now got marching ants. And what I'll do is I'll just again pick a curve and dismiss the ants. And now I can bring down the sky, but it's affecting the front buildings a bit as well, but I can bring them back up. And the reason this is a little bit more subtle, if I just dismiss that curves for the moment and show you the mask, and it's very subtle. You'll see the image here is the mask. It's basically a black and white photo of what you've of your actual image. So what's going to happen is, rather than the very stark it's black or it's white, it's now running through shades of grey. So that means that it has the same subtle effect when you're pulling the curve around. So if I just reset that, if we think of the bright area up here and I want to bring it down, if I bring my curve down on that section and just move up on the dark areas, let's just move that there. So pretty much this area is now almost the same. And I can just move this area here and you can see the sky darkening down, and it's much more subtle way of doing it. There we go. Now what you can also do to the mask, if you wanted to, you could invert it. So basically just invert the layer, and if I press Alt, click again, we've now got like a negative of the scene. And again, if I alter the curves, it's going to have a slightly different effect now. So the sky is protected more than the buildings. So I can darken down the buildings and not affect the sky too much. So you can use this in both ways. And that's how to adjust areas of your photo using luminosity masks and curves.